Greetings, my friends, and welcome back to the Home Slice. I am here in the Sharpening Shack, and I have such exciting news. Before we start this episode, I'm going to give a quick description of a project that I've been working on behind the scenes. So you guys see me wear my Home Slice shirts all the time, but I have never offered anything for sale. There's a few reasons for that. One of the reasons is that I made these in a small batch with a retailer here in New Zealand, and it's hard to get shipping to different places, and I just hadn't figured that out yet and hadn't cracked the code on that yet. The other reason is I've been adjusting and changing things on my logo so that I can actually sell to a broad audience. I mean, I made this back in the day when I had no knife channel, I had no aspirations of having 4,000 subscribers, and a community that I really care about that's been formed around it. So I just took the silhouette of my favorite knife, the Benchmade 940, and put it over this little bottom of a house to make it the roof. And I was like, the Home Slice, there we go. I think I used like Courier New font, you know, like the old school mono-spaced typeface that's been around for like, I don't know, 20 years. And it was just this very like jerry-rigged thing, and that was fine. I actually have really over time like appreciated my logo, and I actually have grown to really like it. Mostly it stands to me as a symbol of the people that I've interacted with and the projects that I've done and the enjoyment that I've had out of having this YouTube channel, which has been great. So I made this batch of shirts. They're like raglan sleeves, like the material. I like the logo, but I was like, that knife is not my intellectual property. I don't want to sell anything that has a silhouette of something that's trademarked to somebody else. And so I have taken and redesigned to a new logo that has a silhouette of a knife that I actually made. It's a folding knife that I actually made out of a kitchen knife, which is really fun, and cleaned up to a different font that I like a little bit better. The other reason that I haven't promoted any gear or clothing to any of you is because I wanted to get it right. Like, I am like the pickiest person about t-shirts. Like, they've got to have a nice material, they've got to feel good, they've got to have like a fit that actually looks good, and they can't have any intrinsic problems. And these fit well, nice material, but they do have an intrinsic problem. And I don't know if you can see it, but every time I put this thing in the wash, part of the neckline will be standing up like this, and part of it will be crumpled inside. And that may not seem like a big deal. Like, I haven't done anything to change this, but you can see it's like totally folded over and not at all. There's something about like it's not thick enough, or this material is not elastic enough to use in a dryer. And I don't really have time to like necessarily hang dry my precious Home Slice shirts every time. I just want to wear them, feel comfy, like the like simple, clean, monochromatic look, wash them, throw them in the dryer, and wear them again. So I haven't been really happy with the final product in that regard. I'm a little bit OCD about clothing and collars and whatnot. And so I have been looking and testing prints from different manufacturers. There's been a few iterations of this, ending up with my present, fully redesigned and optimized Bonfire merchandise store. So I've been working with Bonfire. They're a drop shipping company. They do merchandising. You can order whatever size and whatever colors and whatever product you want, and they'll ship directly to you on demand immediately. This is my redone logo. I've got the colors kind of nice to blend with these different shirts, new font. These t-shirts are epic. Oh my gosh, I'm so stoked. They're super comfy, thick heavyweight fabric, cotton. We've got a nice, reinforced collar, so no issues with the dryer. Clean logo. I'm just stoked on them. There's a whole range of colors, okay? So this particular one, this is the Comfort Colors tee in the brick color. I'll put a link to it in the description if you like this particular one. I've got a whole merchandise store up there if you want to check it out. I'm working my way through trying every product. So in the videos, I'll be wearing different ones of my shirts and giving you updates on what's different on them. But my goal was for this not to be like a money-making project, but to be a way to bless people. And I wanted to make t-shirts that are good enough that like I actually want to wear them, because I actually hate t-shirt shopping and I don't really like wearing screen prints and being a sort of advertising billboard for things that I don't believe in. And so coming up with my own brand that represents to me like all of you guys and the work that I've put into this has been really fun, because I'm like, oh, I would be so happy to wear like comfy, awesome shirts with my branding on it. And so anyway, you can check it out. Check out the link in the description. I'm really excited, so I've gone for way too long talking about that. But I hope some of you guys check out the store, and I hope that you're blessed by anything that you might order there. But coming up to today's duel, I want to keep it pretty short because I have already taken a long time, but obviously we are in the Sebenza versus everything series. I have wanted to put this MagnaCut edge through its paces. And so first we did a Reeve fine, like a Reeve resin bonded diamond fine edge. After that, which was really good result, very smooth, awesome. And the factory edge was pretty good. I've just put a 1200 grit edge from the Sharpen on it and then done a lot of stropping. I find that the Reeve diamond waterstones come off a little cleaner, so they don't need as much stropping. And I felt the aggression that I ended up with on that particular stone was really good. I did not like the Sharpen quite as much on this particular MagnaCut. I've had amazing results with it on other knives, but I just found that I needed a little bit more stropping to feel like the edge came off really clean, and then the aggression faded a little bit. So didn't enjoy that tons and tons. It was still a good edge, but I just enjoyed the fine one, and I would recommend at this moment a fine edge on your Sebenza from a resin bonded diamond stone if you have one. But this edge that I've put on both of these knives is a regression dual grit edge. So I have gone to full fine on the Reeve stones, and then I've come back with ultralight edge leading strokes and put a electroplated diamond edge on one side and a Reeve diamond on the other. I believe I went 1200 and the FEPA 400. I figured those grits would actually cut pretty close, and so the burr formation would be roughly equal, but the burr removal would be really good when I put it down to the resin bonded diamond stone, and the aggression creation would be really great when I put it down to the electroplated stone. I've never tried this before. I'm always experimenting with things. But anyway, so I'm trying to remove all the damage by going fine. I know it's not efficient, but then I go back to a slightly coarser stone, really light strokes to put some aggression back on it, hopefully without creating damage. Today we're addressing the question of what has the nicest hollow grind, because the Sebenza is known for having an incredibly pleasant hollow grind to use in. I have experienced that and loved it. So I wanted to find something that had like the edge geometry of like your old Kershaw skyline. You guys remember those things? They're like 90 thousandths of an inch thick or 0.09 inches thick. And they would just slice with this deep hollow grind, thin blade stock, thin edge. And so I just about got on and just ordered one of the old Kershaw skylines because I was like, why not? But then I was sent something by Mr. Peter over at Cedric and Ada. Pete actually broke the lock bar on his Quiet Carry Waypoint, which then he sent it to me just as a testing mule. It would still lock, but there was no detent, so it would just fall open. So this is a Quiet Carry Waypoint, really cool ultralight knife, titanium, black handles, and inset liner lock. The liner is made out of LC200N. Quiet Carry is like known for being like totally like salt water rust resistant. And so this is a VANAX blade, which is like totally corrosion resistant. And a lock bar, that's LC200N, that's completely corrosion resistant. And so the whole setup is like capable of going out on your fishing vessel or going on a dive or something like that, and keeping this thing with you. So I'm really excited about that. So we have equally epic looking hollow grinds, but I'm excited to see which one actually slices better, because you've obviously got a little more height here on the Sebenza, which is awesome, but you've actually got a much thinner blade, kind of like reminiscent of like an elongated Kershaw Skyline with VANAX steel, which who doesn't want that, right? I should mention that this is a large Sebenza and a normal size Waypoint, and so this would be better matched with like a small Sebenza. I just don't have one, and we're not here to talk about exact comparisons. We're here to dive into how do those hollow grinds work. So anyway, I'll be back after 1 week of carrying each. I'm going to carry Sebenza first so that I have the thoughts of the last edge fresh in my mind to compare to, and then I will carry the Waypoint, and I'll be back to tell you guys which one I like better. But before we move on to that, I do have to say, Quiet Carry have been legends about the warranty service on this guy. So I took the knife apart thinking, oh, if it's just a detent ball, I can fix it. And then I have a fully functional, you know, $350, $400 knife that I can use in VANAX, and that would be awesome. Open the knife up, and the lock bar was sheared off. There was like a little, like 2 millimeters of it still popping under the blade, but the whole section where the detent ball went was like snapped off. I don't know how that happened. Pete really uses his knives, obviously, which is great. But I sent it into Quiet Carry, and they said, hey, our normal fee is this fee. It was really reasonable. I can't remember. It was something like $30 or $40. And they said, for that amount, we'll fix the knife, replace any parts, and mail it back to you. And I mentioned to them, I was like, okay, that's cool. I run this small YouTube channel, and they graciously fixed it for free, sharpened it back up, stuck it back into a box, which I did not send to them. Like, they gave me a new box for free. They even marked all of the characteristics of the knife, again, as if I had bought it, and threw in a warranty card. And their warranty card, to be fair, says, hey, we guarantee all our products against defects for the original owner. And so I'm not the original owner, and they have actually done a complete warranty service free for me. Now, do note, I am a YouTube creator, and they were aware of that, so I don't know that you would get free service. I think I got like a special discount there. However, I have to say, before they found that out, and through the entire process, the service from Quiet Carry was fantastic. Their communication was back, boom, just like that. They were clear, they were kind, they did a fantastic job. So really happy to promote their product. I like their sort of slim minimal carry designs, and I like the steels that they use, and the full saltwater immersion capable blades are really cool. So Quiet Carry, it's a really cool brand. If you haven't checked them out, you should check them out. And I'll be back in just a second to let you know which one of these hollow grinds I prefer. All right, back after 2 weeks of use, guys. I am officially exiled from my house. We keep, I live in this small cottage, and we keep shifting the kids' bedrooms around as they get older to give them enough space. And so I keep losing filming locations one after another. So here we are out at the campfire for our wrap up. This might be my new filming location, barring inclement weather. But we're back to compare the Waypoint, Quiet Carry Waypoint, to the Reeve knives Sebenza. Still doesn't have good action. It could be added. So we've talked a lot about the Sebenza at this point, so let's come over to the Quiet Carry to give some quick thoughts. Should be a quicker video because we've already covered a lot on the Sebenza, but how's the Quiet Carry? I like the wire clip on this model. They've nested it all the way down to the end, basically. The handles are a lot thinner, and the blade is a lot thinner, so overall you end up with a lot thinner package than the Sebenza, which is already fairly thin. This is like micro thin. It reminds me of carrying the Kershaw Leak, which was one of my favorites in terms of you just don't feel that it's there. There were times that I was like, oh, I didn't bring my knife. And I was like, wait, yeah, I did. It's there. I had to pause the video there to sneeze like 4 times because my allergies are coming on with the seasons. So that is unfortunate. I'll be pretty miserable and out of it here in real time for the next 6 weeks or so, but that's probably only like 3 published videos, so you guys probably won't have to go through it as much as I do. Anyway, forgot that it was there in my pocket at times. Small carry like the Kershaw Leak, but a lot more edge than a Kershaw Leak ever had. Same hollow grind, same blade thickness as a Kershaw Leak. So it's got a lot of that like ultimate small EDC vibe going for it. You should note that like many people say that the transition line here is a bit too sharp, and I think it would be. I happen to have teeny little fingers, so actually it works just fine for me. Like it never caused me any discomfort or pain in any way, which is pretty cool. Don't remember if I covered in the intro to this video. I actually gave this and the Sebenza these reverse dual grit edges. So I did dual grit, but I did edge leading strokes on each stone. And really pleased with how the aggression lasted on this quiet carry. Really pleased with the performance of the VANAX steel. They want to make everything in their folding lineup like totally impervious to rust. And so all the internals and all of the hardware is all completely saltwater proof, basically. And that has come in really handy. I actually cut up some oranges for my kids and handing them back and forth, and the kids' hands are all sticky, and this got just covered in orange juice. And I just take it to the sink and like pour water through it and like blow it out like a harmonica, and throw it back in my pocket. Don't even wipe it off because the water can't and won't do anything to pretty much any of the hardware on this. So extremely lightweight. Very slicey hollow grind. The action just delivers every time. It's just really good liner lock action. Perfect amount of edge. Perfect size to carry. If I gave it some downsides, there's not a lot, to be honest. Oh, also like detail work is really nice. There's like chamfering all along here, all the way out to the tip that sort of fades. I don't know if you can see that, but the chamfer kind of fades into the tip. It's really cool. There's some real subtle jimping here, but overall, I really, really liked this knife. I enjoyed it a lot. If I had to give some downsides, I would say the handle's a little bit smooth. It's not the most confidence-inducing when you're sort of, your hands are wet or something like that. It is a little bit slippery or really dry. Actually, I have more problems with these metal handles like this when my hands are really dry, actually. They feel slippery. Maybe that's a personal problem. Maybe, I don't know. You guys can tell me in the comments if that's ever happened to you. But, so not tons of grip. I didn't really mind it too much because you got such a big index finger lock in that thing's not going anywhere. Like you can accomplish grip by material, which is sort of effective, and you can accomplish grip by shaping, which is sort of effective, and some combination of that, I guess, would be ideal. In comparison, the Sebenza is a lot more grippy. The titanium on a Sebenza is kind of this really matte finish, and it does definitely grip. The jimping is more aggressive, the shaping is a little more extreme, and it is a little more palm filling. So that's one thing. The thinness would be hard on your hands, like if you were to really like have a task where you needed to push into it. But to be honest, like a folding knife that's going for minimum size, the shaping anyway is going to be, they're all kind of square, and there's a gap in the middle, right? Where you like put your thumb, or where you rest the palm of your hand against, and where your fingers come here. So there's not a lot of folding knives that would be super beneficial for your hand. Like my friend Daniel makes these asymmetrical kitchen knives, and it's like, that's what you really need if you're going to be applying forces to a knife. So I don't know, you probably would be a smidge better off with the Sebenza in terms of it's a little thicker to get your hand around, and each slab of metal's a little bigger. And so probably this would be a little harder on your hand if you had like hard use. For like the everyday carry stuff that I put it through, like cutting up food on the odd day and chopping up cardboard to make a bonfire, and your odd like box opening and things like that. This worked amazing, and I really enjoy the carry because it's tiny. Like, it was so like nice to carry. So here we come to the last question, which is the hollow grind, because I started this episode to be like, the Sebenza's great, but is it the best hollow grind? And these two functioned very similarly. Like the hollow grind on a Sebenza is really great. Each carry of the Sebenza I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed it for what it is. I love the like classic piece that it is, and it's like, it has a cool vibe, and it's real rugged, and that hollow grind makes it feel like quite slicey. The hollow grind on the blade stock thickness is about a third bigger on the Sebenza, like 2-ish millimeters to 3-ish millimeters. But then the hollow grind is so high, you can see like it stretches out longer, and I think it's a bit shallower. And I like that shaping on it. However, I would have to say, what's better, you know, to gain 30% height or to lose 30% thickness? I think, to be honest, if the question is which one cut smoother, I would have to say the Quiet Carry Waypoint edged out the Sebenza just a little bit. Like, for me, it is better to lose 30% thickness and have an overall thinner profile going through stuff than it is to gain a bunch of height. So the Sebenza is great. Don't have anything against the Sebenza, and if you're looking at buying one, or you know, you're thinking about it throughout your knife collecting career, it is a good slicey knife. It's a really good all-purpose sort of hard use folding knife. Like, I enjoy the Sebenza quite a lot. But the question of this episode is the Sebenza the ultimate hollow grind? And to be honest, I think you're like 90 thousandths thick. That's your ultimate hollow grind, you know? And your Kershaw Skyline's got it. Your Quiet Carry Waypoint here's got it. Your Spyderco Centofonte is like beyond it. Like, if you want the ultimate hollow grind, in my official opinion, go get one of those like Crewwear exclusive Spyderco Centofontes. They're like 70 thousandths thick, hollow ground way up to the top. And if you really want it to be ultimate, you have to not care about how the side looks, because what you have to do is lay this down on your stone and shave off the shoulder of the grind and shave off the shoulder of the edge, which turns the knife. If you think about it, there's a flat, and then you've made a new bevel, and then there's a hollow, and then there's a really thin bevel. It actually turns it into basically what you'd call an S grind, which is the inverse of a convex grind. It's like a continuously shaped like hollow grind. And you can control the behind the edge thickness. I have a video on that. I'll try to pin it in the comments when I get this up. Somebody write me a comment if I didn't do it, and remind me, and I'll get it up. So if you want the ultimate hollow grind, Quiet Carry Waypoint's fantastic. Kershaw Leak, absolutely fantastic. Sevivia Elementum's okay. It's a little bit thicker. I don't love the lines of it. It's a bit of a bubble. Spyderco Centofonte, grab one of those and lay it down on the stone and shave off those edges. I like to mirror polish them. I'll probably do it to this one because I'm probably gonna keep this one, and it has a more easily removed thumb stud. You can just grab these with pliers and like twist them off, versus the Sebenza, you've like gotta have like a hydraulic press to like press out that thing, and I don't want to mess with that. So you remove the thumb stud, shave off the shoulders of the grind and edge, and then you have like the ultimate hollow grind. I'll probably do an episode where I do that to this because I'm probably gonna keep this and turn it into the ultimate hollow grind thing that I have. But in my opinion, that's how you get the ultimate hollow grind. I have liked the MagnaCut on this Chris Reeve. I keep trying these fine-ish or cloudy-ish edges, or I just did a dual grit one. So next episode, I got to try a coarse edge on the MagnaCut, because I do find that front end sharpness is like, it's good, but it does fade a little faster than I'd like. And I'm wondering if you had the grab of a truly coarse, aggressive edge, how that would fare. But it's a brilliant knife, just made to extremely high specifications in Idaho, out of like full unapologetic slabs of titanium. But for this episode, I have to say I enjoyed the hollow grind on the Quiet Carry Waypoint, and I enjoyed the carry package on the Quiet Carry Waypoint a little bit better. And I do have to give this episode to the Quiet Carry Waypoint. I'm so sorry, Sebenza guys. It's a great knife. You're probably not gonna like me after this series, but I just was curious of like if the Sebenza would be like the legendary knife that I always thought it was back in the past. So usually I say we will count the knife as a win, you know, if it wins more than half in a gauntlet series like this, because it's going up against the best of everything. Like you can't expect something, I don't think, to like win against all the best of everything else. You always got to give up a little bit of something to be good at something else. You're giving up here a little bit of thickness and robustness to have the ultimate like carry size to edge length package, you know? And so the Sebenza technically is a better work knife, but the Quiet Carry is a better EDC, so everything hangs in balance. But I think if you've got like a knife that everybody's like, this is the ultimate knife, then it should be able to win like half of a gauntlet at least. So it has now been beaten twice by the Quiet Carry Waypoint and by the Benchmade 761 in the categories of my ultimate luxury knife or my ultimate hollow ground knife. And so it's had two knives win against it. So the next episode, it will either claim the win or take the loss against the knife that's to come. The next category is what I've always thought is like my ultimate EDC knife. I'm really excited for it. So I'll see you guys next week. If you want to see last week, that video is right over here. For the rest of you guys, I'll say peace out from the home slice. Get off of YouTube if you've been on here too long. Don't like or subscribe to this video unless you were really blessed by something and make intentional choices about your life. Peace out, guys.